Come through, Queen. I wanna see ya. Come through, Queen.
Hi, everyone. It's Dan.
And Brendan.
And this is Come Through, Queen.
Oh my God. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Brendan.
Okay. So before we talk about anything else, I want to talk about the Kennedys. Well, first of all, there's a couple Kennedy stories that I know it doesn't sound like it makes sense for this podcast, but the first one is I was watching the DNC. Everyone's been creaming their pants over Jack Schlossberg.
We're really going to bookend this Come Through, Queen episode with viral Brendan moments.
Yes. So everyone's been talking about him. I mean, like, gay people have been talking about him long before the DNC.
A few months.
I mean, like, gay people really know how to hone in on
A star.
a star with a tight body. So I was like, okay. I remember, like, obviously reading What Remains. I remember the pictures of Caroline Kennedy, like, holding Carol Radziwill's wedding dress. So I was like, how old is this guy? And when did Carol Radziwill get married? So there is, in fact, a photo of Jack Schlossberg at Carol Radziwill's wedding. Obviously, it's not that surprising because they are family.
But, like, when was the wedding?
Like 1994 or 5.
And how old is he?
He's older than you'd think.
I know. He, like, reads, like, late 20s, but he's, like, mid-30s, right?
He's like, yeah, lower 30s. I'm mid 30s. He's like not as old as me. He was born in like 1993. So he's probably like, what, 32?
He is 31.
31.
Oh, so I'm like, I'm wrong. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So that's moment number one.
So he's there being held as a child.
Yes. The other funny thing is people like tried to correct me because the whole thing is that he kind of looks like his uncle JFK Jr., who is standing in the photo right next to an adult JFK Jr. is standing right next to Carol in the photo. And like a couple people tried to correct me, and I was like, look at the child. And look at the caption of like who the child is.
Yeah.
So there's number one. Okay.
But I think like reading the quote tweets or the replies, like someone said that Carol like didn't like the Schlossbergs.
Or they didn't like her back or something.
Because like they weren't like friendly to the outsiders or something.
Yeah, but I can confirm that Carol does follow Jack, but Jack does not follow Carol. This is Brendan fact checking after the fact. If Carol did follow at one point, she no longer does. Bye.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Although Carol does, like, is Carol still popping off?
In what way?
Wasn't there like a tweet recently that we sent in that one group chat? I want to say like quote. Wait,
you trying which? Okay, the one group chat. I'm with you in group chats more than anyone else in my life. It's like there's like 8 of them.
I think it's Cuoco.
Cuckoo for Cuoco?
I'm like having a stroke. I think
with the 2 airplanes.
Yeah. I believe that's the one where we passed around a Carol Radziwill tweet where it's like classic like older lib like saying something like really sassy and like thinking they did something but like being offensive in like 10 other ways.
Oh, sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then like all the replies were like, yes, queen, go off. Yes, slay mama. And it's like, this is so bad, girl.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what it was, but that sounds familiar.
But doesn't the sentiment ring true to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like tuned into Morning Joe as she fired that off.
Okay, sorry. I'm really like taking this train off the track.
No, it's okay. No, because I also wanted to mention, speaking of Carol, she posted the chicest photo booth photos over the weekend.
I wish like you could see my eyes rolling in the back of my head, but go on.
No, just saying that.
Good to know. Okay.
Okay. The other Kennedy thing I wanted to mention was obviously Robert F. Kennedy Jr. just dropped out of the presidential race. He endorsed Trump.
Yeah,
Not
dropped
surprising.
out, dropped in.
Yeah. We often forget who his son is, and that is Connor Kennedy.
I do forget that.
let me just make sure that that's correct.
No, it
yeah,
is. It
yeah,
is.
yeah,
It is.
okay.
It is.
So Connor Kennedy famously dated Taylor Swift back in the day.
When he was in high school.
Yes. Was he in high school?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the reason this is important to the Bravo conversation, their relationship is popping off online right now because of like what she did in that era. Like she read a book about the Kennedys, then dated him and like all this stuff.
And then bought a house.
Yeah. Or like maybe didn't buy a house. I saw some reporting today from the Cape Cod Times that said she actually didn't.
Okay.
But who knows? Okay. Ethel thought she did. So I swear this isn't a Kennedy podcast, even though I'm naming names. Okay. The other Connor Kennedy bit that's of importance is he was rumored to be in that show Making It in Manhattan that has been filming with Riley Burris, Brooks Marks,
yes.
Gia Giudice, one of the Biermans.
So I vaguely recall you saying that while we discussed this, and I feel like my brain just like glazed over that because like Connor Kennedy like it means nothing to me.
He meant kind of something to me then, but I like didn't really do the work of like thinking about why this is funny / important in the sense that we think things are important.
Yeah. Granted
to say, I haven't seen a photo or a frame of him with like Brooks Marks or anyone like that.
So rumor squashed.
Rumor maybe.
Put on the back burner.
But maybe he pops up. We don't know. But the fact that he was reported among this group of people who have been confirmed is very funny.
And let me thread the needle for one last stitch.
Okay.
On the heels of the J-Lo Ben Affleck breakup, Ben rumored to be having a fling with Connor's sister. And she's got one of those like sassy nicknames like Trip or
Kick.
Trick or Kick. So like we're really covering all angles of pop culture here.
Yeah, her name is Kit Kennedy. Maybe her like OG name is Kathleen.
Something with a K.
Yeah. There was an older Kick too.
The kicks keep on coming.
I think we should bring back fun names like that. Okay, so on that note, let's get to some real news.
We have some heartbreaking news. No, like last week we spent 45 minutes talking about the two trailers.
I know.
And this week we're like turning to the Kennedys.
Well, we had the Peacock outage on, but that's been fixed.
Yeah, and then we talked about that pre-show.
Yeah, so there's a Joe update. So this is Joe of Tom Schwartz and Joe.
Yes.
She overnight posted on Instagram a reel that is still there. That is kind of like
when you open your phone and like your phone has decided to create memories.
Yeah, it's a loving montage of clips of her, I guess, relationship with Tom Schwartz.
And to give the girl some credit, the sheer number of photos and videos, like, to me, a relationship makes.
Yeah, and a lot of them are taken by him, so it's not like he was in hiding for them. It seems like there's photos or videos of, like, Tom Schwartz and what I assume is Joe's dad. Actually, it's just, like, the back of some older guy. It could be Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Okay.
For all we know. So she posted that with this caption. Here we go. Megaphone emoji and thumbs up emoji. P.S. It took me months to post this, but it's so sweet. I wanted the world to see and know how wonderful. Whatever this was. This is me moving on. And then, like, Raquel Levis was in the comments being, like, pointing out, like, a particular pink van.
So at first I read that comment as like, oh, is she like making fun of her? But then I realized they're two sisters.
Yeah.
Like two burned sisters.
Yeah, it was like a shaky pink van, the shoe, not the car.
Yeah.
Those vans were kind of cool.
This got me thinking that we're not really like hearing like a peep out of any Vanderpump potential filming. But Sheena and Lala, I think, have been filming for the Valley a lot.
Which, please stop.
Which is interesting because I think Jax has been away for so long.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see like how that shakes out.
Yeah.
Is Simon Curtis back?
What?
Is Simon Curtis back?
I hope so. He better be.
He better be.
He better be.
He better be holding a a pile of land from the valley.
Do you think, okay, speaking of like filming things, do you think this is Joe saying,
Bring me to the valley.
or like saying,
Build pump around me.
or saying, or third option saying, like, oh, maybe she was in talks to potentially go back for Pump, and this is like the final, like she wasn't picked up. Alex Baskin was like, no.
Oh. Did we ever report on the fact that I believe the signage for Tom Tom has been taken down and has become Pump?
That's what Peter was saying, but then I feel like somebody said, no, that's not true.
We need one of the WeHo girls to get eyes and ears on there.
I know. Don't any of you live in WeHo?
You're like saying that to like in their ears right now.
I'm imagining like a gay person listening to this right now, walking down Santa Monica.
And he's like,
Okay, so that's our Joe update. We wish her well.
I wish her happiness.
I know. Do you want to go over to our shows?
Sure.
Nice.
Still watching Dubai the day that we record this podcast, almost a week after it airs.
The thing about Dubai is like, okay, in general, it has a lot of things that are good for a Housewives franchise. And it has a lot of players and characters who I want to be with.
I just have no sense of urgency with it.
I know.
Like, I'm not like, oh my God, what's happening to Caroline Brooks this week?
Well, of the entire group,
That's
she's the
most
one.
urgent.
No, I was going to say she's the one people are like kind of looking for least.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Like of course, we go to Ayan and Stanberry. Then I would say we're going Lisa. Then I would say, right now, Sarah's thing is interesting, but it's like also a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And then Talene, and then like Brooks, it's like what?
Actually, this episode, to like quote, I'm like misquoting that like Simpsons thing. It's like whenever Talene's on the screen, I'm like, where is Talene?
Exactly.
Like, and she was not in this episode.
She was like barely in it.
She went to the polo thing with her husband, and that's it.
Yeah, she looks great though. Was she referencing like Pretty Woman specifically? Have you ever seen that film?
I've seen bits and pieces, but I did see the hit Broadway musicale,
Okay.
Pretty Woman.
I believe when they go to Polo and Pretty Woman, Julia Roberts is wearing a very similar look to what Talene had with a similar hat.
Well, they were all trying to be pretty women when it really boils down to it.
Well, they're all gorgeous women. That's what I'm here to say.
Okay.
So we're back from Bali. And the thing about Bali and Ayan is I feel like I don't know exactly what's happening with her, and I don't think she knows either.
She's having a psychotic break?
No, but like even at one point she's like, I don't even know, like in confessional, she's like, I don't know why I'm so angry.
For a woman of her mid 40s to early 50s, she really like doesn't seem to know herself.
Like,
and speaking of not knowing herself, it was like a shock to the system to learn that the husband's 49.
I know.
For like, I thought he was maybe older, but then he actually like doesn't even look that old. Once if you like really train your eye on him, which I don't think I ever have. Until
But he's
this
like
episode.
giving daddy Warbucks.
A little bit.
I think there's another problem here is like, I don't know.
I didn't think they were peers. I thought this was like an intergenerational relationship.
Right.
Because she looks so youthful.
Yeah,
And we learned she's like 50.
exactly.
The Lisa versus Ayan thing is like still cooking. And like as much as Ayan's the star, like we're forced to be Team Lisa because she's being reasonable.
Exactly.
She's having a reasonable reaction to like getting fucked over.
Yeah. I think it's just like Lisa's also a star in a way, but like she's a little more. The word demure almost just came out of my mouth.
She's a little more
but,
cutesy.
But no, we can't do that.
No, it's kind of like when like Pluto got like demoted from planet to like a moon or a star. Or
I
this
think the
and that.
anniversary of that was this week. Is that why you were thinking about that?
Someone reminded me of it recently.
Yeah.
So like she feels like not quite Like a lot of the other girls are planets, and like she's not quite a planet.
Yeah.
She was a planet. Maybe still kind of is a planet.
Lisa?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's a planet. I think she's just a quieter planet. Like
One
what's
more
like
demure planet.
what's like the most quiet planet?
She's a mindful.
No,
planet.
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do it either. Okay. When Caroline Stanbury said, "In the blink of an eye, I'm going to be 50," and that's just a fact. I felt that.
Stop.
Well, when they showed like a montage of like 3 different birthdays of her like having the same balloon on display each
Yeah.
time, I'm like, we're just like hamsters in the hamster wheel, like spinning and spinning.
We're just going.
And we're in a blink of an eye, we'll be 50.
You're like me, like taking on 40 once you did.
So like I'm like much like you took on 40 for me, I'm taking on 50 for Caroline Stanbury.
You just turned 40
About to be 41.
less than a year ago.
No, about to be 41.
But less than a year ago.
All right. 1 year closer to 50.
So if you turn 50, then do I have to be 50?
Wait, a listener pointed out like you bullying me about age 8 years ago, where you're younger than.
No, I'm older than you were.
Yeah, you are currently older than I was then by like a number of years.
Something I found out about you is that you're replying in the comments.
What? Oh, on Patreon.
Yeah.
Well, like, yeah, you gotta, of course, reply in the comments.
Yeah, but you're replying as you.
They know. They know Brendan doesn't even know like how to log on.
No, sometimes I look at Patreon.
Okay. Okay. No, I mean, the Sergio and Stanbury, like, it could be its own show.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but it could.
Yeah.
Like Lisa and Nameless Husband, like, could not be their own show.
It could be like the one show where, like, if we brought the family in, because it's like,
It's very tardy for the party.
yeah, but it's like, okay, there's so many interesting dynamics here because Sergio's mom obviously like knows
Here.
it's not gonna
Oh, no, yeah.
appear to you.
Me, Stanbury, Sergio's mom.
Like knows it isn't gonna last, and then like we've got Stanbury's other kids,
Yeah.
and it's just like this is like the last part of the episode, but it's like
The ultimatum.
the ultimatum,
Let's talk
but
about
it's
it.
like we kind of this has been part of the conversations the entire time we've been with them, which has only been a season and a half at this point.
Stanbury being like, well, you've never really said this. It's like, well, then that's not quite true. Like, we've been to the fertility doctor together. It's not like one
Yeah.
day he woke up and said, I want a child. Like,
Yeah.
we talk about this ad nauseum, really, on the show.
Yeah, but it's like it kind of is both ways because she's ad nauseum also said she doesn't want another child, despite doing things like going to the fertility doctor.
And then also, like, kikiing when the palm reader is saying, like, she's going to have a boy.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know.
but I also see like,
We have to remember this was filmed 5 years ago.
and she has not gotten a baby, but she has had a facelift.
Oh my! So I feel like that, like she's actually like turning the clock back.
Yeah,
She's younger now.
sure. So she's the 37-year-old. I'm 50.
Even though time moved forward from the 5 years ago when they filmed this, she actually went back in time.
Exactly. No, but I mean, I've never been a parent, but it's like once you have your kids and like you raise them to be a certain age, as a parent, aren't you like, okay, I don't really want to go back.
I mean,
She should get a reborn.
you should get a reborn. To go back that far after going through it, although it doesn't sound like she was like going through it all.
But I mean, that's a very British,
Yeah.
like a very whatever part of the British, whatever they're part of.
Oh yeah, isn't she like
Like
part of
nobility?
Is she a noble?
I know. I don't know.
Lady Stanbury?
She should be. If I was the queen.
Charles, knight her. Wait, are the girls knights?
No.
What are the girls?
They're ladies.
Dames. Ah. Okay. 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 So Ayan goes to Huda Beauty.
Big deal.
So, okay, I wasn't sure if you said it's a big deal or I saw other people
Honey
online
did.
saying it's a big
Honey
deal. Oh,
messaged us. So Honey watched it live.
Oh, yeah. She's a fan.
7 days later, when I watched it, I was like, "Oh, Honey had texted about this." So you know who I went to?
A beauty expert?
Of course. Guess who?
Tynan?
Of course.
Oh, my God.
Host of Smell You Later.
He
on
should have
Apple
us on
Podcasts.
to talk about Huda Beauty.
Apparently, big deal.
Okay.
I think I then went into her Wikipedia because he was like, big deal, randomly was born or is from Oklahoma.
Oh.
So family originally from Iraq, moved to Oklahoma. She was born. They moved from Oklahoma to Tennessee. And then I think from Tennessee to Massachusetts. And then she ended up in Dubai for her brand. But I think she became big because I think Kim K used her like eyelashes at some point back in the day, and that really launched her.
Okay.
But she's like, I think she's a big deal.
I mean, that's interesting that you say that because there was a Kardashian quality to her.
Yeah.
She went in and asked for the Kardashian,
Or she's the one who created the face.
the blueprint.
She might be the person who created the makeup look.
It's like, is Huda Beauty the chicken or the egg?
Exactly.
But like treating Ayana as sister.
Yeah,
Like-
which I like. It's like if you're gonna come on this show, even if like not everything about the brand is up to your standards. I don't know what Ion presented. I'm sure it was great.
Yeah.
Just be like, this is my sister, and I'm gonna connect her to Sephora.
Okay. I'm learning office stuff, sending emails. Aren't we all?
And then like using the printer.
Using the printer. The printer.
I will say, printers are famously difficult to connect to.
Yeah, I've helped many a person.
Yeah,
connect.
I sometimes, when I'm in the office, sometimes people come to me thinking I know how, and I'm like, I'm gonna try.
Okay, well that's good. That's
Yeah.
the go-getter attitude. But here's what I want to say, that if you cannot connect to the printer, like we all have it in us. Like there's no college degree for like printer connectivity. Like we can all figure this out. We can all do hard things.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you, Glennon Doyle.
Maybe like the aura of the books behind me like seeped into my brain. Does she say that we could do hard things?
Yeah.
That's like her like tagline. Stop.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
I literally
Her
never...
podcast is called "We Can Do Hard Things."
Oh my God. Really, the spirit entered me.
Her and I go way back.
Oh, we know.
No, I just told you about that last week.
You reminded me. I knew you went way back. Okay. Ninali, back with like very little fanfare.
I know, but like, I liked having her with us.
So, did I blank? Like, was it even acknowledged that she was in the room, or we're just like in Dr. Sarah's room? Ninali's on the couch.
I think we're just in the room. Maybe it said Nina.
I know, but like, for like a main cast member to come back and like to not even like give her a hug.
Right.
Like, I feel like it was like camera up on couch.
Yeah, she should have gotten this Sutton walking into
Yeah.
OC with like a dog in front of her.
Yeah. Like, no one cares.
I will say, Nina Lee, it's just like, maybe what Dubai is missing is a matriarch. And
She could have been.
she has matriarch energy in like the sense of like the good old days of Beverly Hills, of Housewives. Like we used to have,
No, she's like a Vanderpumpian.
yeah, Vanderpumpian. We used to have our matriarchs.
She just doesn't have like the confidence of a matriarch.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the grandeur.
But she does feel like somebody that you would come to for advice.
With a problem.
Yeah.
She's a problem solver.
Exactly. That's what matriarchs
Wasn't
are.
her like husband like a Bitcoin miner or something?
I don't know.
Okay, this
This is one of the most wild stories I've heard.
took me on a journey. Now, my first suggestion is like, let's get the kid out the room.
Yeah. Let's get the kid off of the television screen.
Let's get the kid off the television screen. Let's maybe not even talk about this on the television screen if this is a real thing happening.
Especially like mid it happening, like you just came back from your vacation and you found this information out.
And we haven't even resolved it.
It's wild.
She doesn't seem to be like, for a CEO, girl boss, doctor, power woman, like doesn't seem to like have her wits about her. From like boyfriend to whatever this is going on.
Yeah. I mean, she's, speaking of woo-woo, like she's kind of woo-woo.
She is a little woo-woo.
I just like, I agree with you. Like there's no reason the kid should be listening to what like these creepy people are allegedly like saying about him. Number one. Number two, like if it's still ongoing, I feel like we shouldn't be talking about it like this. Thankfully, we're like far enough away from it. Where,
Well,
like,
it was filmed 5 years ago,
was
so he's actually in college right now.
But it's like, yeah, there's a lot here. And then we just like switch over to talking about the podcast where she was allegedly going to be paid $45,000 for one episode.
Now this, we better fucking get answers at the reunion.
Yeah.
I need to know, and I tried to do a little bit of research, but I couldn't like come up with anything. I need to know, what podcast are we talking about? Like what podcast other than like Joe Rogan is going to pay you $45,000?
Joe Rogan's not going to pay you that much money.
I don't think. Yeah, like
I could see them giving like a small like fee like you would get for going on a talk show. You know, like don't people get like $500 or something?
Sure, like a stipend.
Yeah,
but like I think she has like, and then after. Between that last episode airing and me watching it, you know, the week lag time in between, by watching it so late, we're like kind of honoring the lag time of like them filming it and then it airing.
Yeah.
But I went back and like looked to see like what she was saying about people like calling her out about this $45,000 podcast. I think she said something to the effect of like, it was like promotional or something. Like, haven't you ever heard of like ads or it's like, what are you talking about?
It's like, I think the only thing I can compare it to is that I think Whoopi Goldberg was doing a deal with a migraine not a migraine company, a migraine medication. I think she actually got hooked up with it through Khloe Kardashian.
And Nurtec ODT?
I think
that's
maybe
the Gaga.
That's the Gaga one.
Yeah.
But I think she was doing like appearances on like radio shows to like talk about that medication. Like I remember her going on like the Michelle Collins Serious show. It must have been a few years ago.
Oh my God. Whoopi ex Michelle?
Yeah. I probably texted you about it back then because I was excited. This was literally like 2.5 years ago, I would guess. Yeah.
When they were filming Dubai.
But that's the only comparison of something that would like make sense. But I don't think that's, I mean, if you're Whoopi, maybe that's $45,000 to go on like one episode of something, but like not when you're Sarah, Dr. Sarah.
Okay. Now let's go to the boyfriend. The boyfriend saying, I don't want you to do the podcast because like the host posted a shirtless picture.
Yeah.
Great. Then Dr. Sarah flipping it on the boyfriend and like him talking about some photo shoot he's going to go do where he's going to make $3,000 to $5,000 and then her telling him, well, I don't want you to do this photo shoot. And it's like, so we're just agreeing to not make money? Like,
that's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Like, what is the lesson being learned here?
Romeo and Juliet who? This is the greatest love story of all time.
It's truly like stupidity meets stupidity.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
That just goes to prove it's like, just because you've got the word doctor.
But like, and it's like, we're the two dummies. Like, pay us $45,000
Yeah.
to do a podcast.
I'll talk about.
Oh, yeah.
What was she gonna even talk about on it?
Nerd Tech ODD?
Oh no, I don't know if I'll go that far.
Okay. Lisa and Caroline, matriarch to matriarch, or planet to moon. One might say.
So this is interesting because they're talking about Lisa's still mad about stuff from their reunion.
Which is interesting because I don't know how many Dubai super fans are out there, but I forgot about all this stuff. So we're kind of just like reminding me of it.
Yeah, that like Stanberry mentioned something about Lisa being an escort.
Totally forgot about it.
Because the thing that I remember from the reunion was Lisa saying something about Stanberry and Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh my God. Of course you would remember that. But it's just like so funny. Like, okay, so Lisa, granted, like there's two things going on. We're like filming a TV show and also we're like dealing with our emotions. The dealing with our emotions part is like, yes, you are angry with her about this and you want her to like apologize or whatever. But the filming a TV show part about it is like, most of us forgot. Like, and you're just reminding us of this.
Right. Yeah.
Which is like only hurting. Like, and I feel bad for Lisa, like saying like, oh, like I'm embarrassed to show up to like school pickup and drop off and like this and that. So I felt bad for her, but I'm like, girl, like don't talk about it.
Yeah, like I didn't realize this was happening.
But I enjoyed the two of them. I think they're in a bad place now.
Yeah, but I think that's more like through Ion.
Yeah.
But they ended this lunch in a good place.
Yeah. And then we go to the polo event.
Which, when we were walking to this polo event and everyone was like sitting down and there was like nothing happening behind them, I was like, are we about to be at a polo match with no polo? And like
show no match.
Finally people like arrived.
Well, that's I guess maybe a complaint with polo for me is how do you even see what's going on? Like, okay, I think Talene's husband was like, well, it's like golf on horses. Like famously, like when the spectators are like watching golf,
they run up
the dolls, like all the dolls in the audience, like
surround them.
They surround them. They're like right there up in the gig.
Yeah.
Like this field looks huge.
Yeah, but you can see like the little ball.
I don't think so.
There's big horses, and you know the people who are like leading.
There's big horses.
This of all sports seems like I kind of know what's going on because these big horses are showing me the action.
The horses are showing you.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Fair.
Horses are Caroline Brooks's favorite animal.
I don't know if I want to go.
Whenever she kind of like describes, if she's in confessional and she's like talking about like parts of her life, like it goes with like something like, oh yeah, my son grew up on the polo pitch, or like, oh, I've been friends with this person for this many years. She does it twice here, talking about the polo and then talking about
the family that owns the thing.
Yeah, and then talking about her relationship with Rafi. I'm like, you're making all of this up. Allegedly.
I can't even like place her. Like, remember when we like shockingly learned that she like turned 36 last month or something?
Yeah.
Not to bring it back to age. But like, in what world are Ayan and Stanberry 50 and this woman is 36?
I don't know, but there's a lot more questions than there are answers here.
And we need to move through this show like a detective and find the answers.
But like her saying, "Oh, I was much closer with Rafi than I was with Talene." It's like, what?
Well, did she like meet Talene through Rafi 10 years ago? I don't know.
I did like, I liked seeing Stanberry back on a polo, what do we call it? Field pitch?
Yeah.
Stadium. I don't know. There was a missed opportunity where we could have pulled some Ladies of London footage.
You know, like every time that episode ends, I don't know if this happens to you.
It goes to Ladies of London.
It's like, oh, God. Truly like where I want to go.
I know what we had.
I mean, the only other thing about Sergio Stanberry is I did enjoy the house cake.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have anything else? I think we like covered it already.
No, yeah, I mean, like, he got her the cake, a Birkin,
Oh, I missed that.
then they went on a boat.
Love a boat.
We covered the babies.
Okay. Shall we go to Orange County?
Yes.
Okay. John Jansen, ring footage. What is this footage?
So it's allegedly like Shannon almost running over one of his kids when she was drunk, but I don't know. I think people are maybe convoluting it happening the night of the DUI. I think it could have happened a different night.
Oh, like a different.
That's just me thinking through what I know about the situation.
Yeah, wasn't it just the two of them yelling at each other?
I thought that. But we do know, like, we kind of know from what Shannon has said over the years or so that, like, John's kids didn't really like her.
Yes.
Remember when she was on the phone last season that she was
yeah.
setting up for that party?
Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got that. We, over in La Quinta, we've got Dutch babies being made, which I gotta say, you don't see Dutch babies on television quite often. Do you know what that is?
Is it a reborn?
No. It's not a reborn. It's like a poofy pancake that you make in the oven. That was what like Shannon was burning her hands on.
Oh,
Remember that?
Yeah.
So it's like in a skillet, and it's like it looks like it's overflowing, but it's just kind of like curling in on itself.
So you're saying we don't get a lot of representation for
Of
this.
Dutch babies.
Do you
Of
make that?
Yeah. It's actually like quick tip. Much better to make Dutch babies for like a crowd or even like a few people than making pancakes. Because with the pancakes, you're like pour, flip, keep warm. Dutch babies, you take one or two pans, put it in the oven. It's all ready at the same time. Slice and dice, and you got pancake-like breakfast food.
I know, but the pancake is about the theater.
But Dutch baby is like a production. Like you gotta look at pictures of Dutch babies. It's like an exploding pancake. It's like very operatic.
I know, but the person making pancakes usually wants it to be about
attention.
them.
Oh, okay. No, yeah.
Yeah, and then they want to be like, how do you want? Do you want some chocolate chips? You want some blueberries? How do you want it? And then they love to do the one like, oh, that's the first one. It's messed up.
The first one does suck. It really does. And that's not a problem that you have with Dutch babies.
No, I support your Dutch baby journey. I'm just telling you about pancake people because they are psychos.
Pancake people who need people.
If you're a pancake person,
the maker or the eater? The maker.
The maker. If you're a pancake person, get in the comments and tell us about you.
How sick you are.
How sick you are. But I'm more of a waffle person, I would say. But like we didn't do...
I love a savory waffle.
Okay. Oh, me too. Like with a nut?
No.
Oh.
Well, with like a fried chicken moment,
Oh,
or
okay.
like with like scallions in it.
Sure.
Or so like I do like a scallion nutritional yeast since I can't do like a scallion cheddar.
Okay.
I know it's like loser behavior over here.
No, it's fine. But we were like, we didn't really ever like have waffles or pancakes at home aside from like an Eggo. But we had Waffle House in town, so you get the waffle. We would get our meals, but then we'd get a waffle for the table.
You're the titular house, yeah. Okay. I believe it was Katie who asked Alexis Bellino, "Do you drink Red Bull or coffee?" And then she responds, "I'm premenopausal." And then goes into the tangent. That actually had me like laughing.
Yeah, and then Jen was like,
Or maybe it was Jen who asked. I don't know.
But she was like, it was like a simple question whether or not.
I had a lot of fun there. Over in La Quinta, we're having breakfast together. I want to say the dolls are mostly barefaced, and I wish Emily had joined.
Oh.
Like Emily still had glam from last night once again. She loves an overnight glam.
But that's better than like glam in the morning for breakfast. At least it was left over.
Oh, I don't know that it was left over. I'm just assuming because like she's she's want to do that.
So you demand her to wash her face before she comes to breakfast?
Or preferably before bed, really, is
Yeah.
what we should be doing.
I mean, speaking of that, I like the three frugal girls banding together when Heather walks off without bringing her own plate.
Of course, I was going to get her right. Oh my God. But it's like, it's funny that, like, you're saying the three frugal girls, like, it's really only Gina.
Yeah.
Like Shannon was a woman of money for a long time.
And still, I mean, like, she's still getting family money from somewhere.
Somewhere, someplace.
And if she takes a free facelift from someone, that's on her.
It's all even.
Yeah. And Emily's like, she comes from
She married
into family money, yeah. It's just like
but Heather has people.
I know, but it's like, even when I'm at, like, you know, when you're at a bar and, like,
At a
you're
bar?
sitting at a table at a
yeah.
bar and then you, like, get up to leave, but
Yeah,
it's
you
like
gotta
one bartender.
clear your
People who
stuff.
just leave their stuff. It's like
Animals.
Bring your cups over to the bar.
Animals, like
Make someone's life a little easier.
Like those male friends of Jason Hoppy at the wedding.
Yes, animals. You can watch our Patreon episode about Bethany's wedding.
Watch it. Watch what happens. Shannon did get emotional at that little breakfast. Mm-hmm. Crying to Emily's arms, who I gotta say, Emily was like the most insensitive of the other girls.
I know, but I do feel like there is a bond between these girls. The four, but I think just like there's a bond.
Oh, Emily, Shannon, Gina.
Yeah, but I feel like Shannon, for the first time in her life on this show, is going beyond, because she has to, going beyond Tamra and actually forming real bonds with people that are lasting, hopefully. Or am I just a Shannon apologist?
No. I think just Shannon's just so fucked up. Like, I believe the fact that Tamra was her best friend. Mm-hmm. And, like, I think that came to be, like, out of the nature of becoming famous and being on this show, and they were best friends. But, like, I feel like she had other friends.
Well, she's got the core four to this day.
Oh, does she still?
Yeah.
So then, like, why isn't she just, like, relying on them to be her sisters?
Because she's on television.
She needs television sisters.
Well, of course. I mean, the four core aren't in La Quinta with her. The core four, rather.
I forgot about the core four.
Yeah, hello.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not fucking, like, Shannon sociologist. Like, I know, like, what?
Well, what have you been doing since 2016 if you're not studying Shannon Bedore?
Okay. And then over in Big Bear, it's like every time that we turn, we're peeling another layer with Jen Pedranti. Mm-hmm. The fact that, like, did we know that her ex-husband, like, quickly started dating one of Jen's friends?
No, I don't think we knew, but it is a tale as old as time. It's Shania Twainian.
Oh, it's Twainian. It's like, move over Mark Twain.
We've got Shania.
Shania's got the tales all the time.
Yeah.
So we are learned that, or reminded of that. But then, like, the way that she's like, I want us to all be friends, and then they, like, block her on social media or something, and then she goes and watches it, like, from other accounts.
It is interesting because, like, she is kind of like crying because her ex has this, like, great relationship with one of her friends, but it's also like, this is the man you cheated on.
I know. She is truly, like, dumb as a bag of rocks.
But she's gorgeous.
Gorgeous and so good at this.
Yeah. We need these people.
Pedranti Center Orange, which, just quick tangent, since we only have 2 shows to talk about. Angie K Center Snowflake truly sent a chill down my spine in a good way.
Yeah. It sent a snowflake down your spine.
The snowflake like dripped down my neck as it landed on me. I mean, what an honor for the Greek woman.
I know.
I'm so happy for her.
She really made Greeks really proud.
She put Greece on the map, I would say.
No, I mean, I think like Nia Vardalos and Rita
over.
Wilson are clapping.
Get out of here.
They're clapping, welcoming their sister.
They're welcoming their sister. Okay.
Which, by the way, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, great film.
Could be fatter.
Yeah, well, no, I think
Greeker.
like the sequel like says like fatter.
Fatter and Greeker. Okay. Gina and Emily. Their fight is essentially like them being pulled by the dark forces.
Yeah.
The dark forces of
Heather and Tamara.
Tamrat and Heather Dubrow.
Yeah.
And like, they're both right as to why they're angry with the other one.
Exactly.
Because the dark forces are at work.
Yeah. I mean, like, Gina, I mean, like, both, actually, exactly what both of them, their criticism of each other was spot on. It's like, Gina is, like, groveling to Heather for whatever reason.
Like, how high shall I jump?
Yeah.
Ms. Dubrow.
And then you can see it with Heather, like, on this trip in her confessionals being like, I don't know what's gotten into Gina.
Yeah.
Like, that would scare me, too.
Yeah. Well, I know you would be scared to disappoint.
Well, no, I'd be honored.
You'd be honored to disappoint Heather Dubrow. And then Emily is like in a contest to be like, who could be the biggest rat between Tamrat and Emily? It's like, well, you can't out-rat the rat.
Well, no, it's like, who can be like the meanest?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Are rats mean?
Yeah, they're mean.
They seem nice.
Well, you're sick. The only nice rat is Master Splinter.
Oh, I was thinking about him.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What about Ratatouille?
His name's not Ratatouille.
Remy?
And so I wonder, like, if his name's not Ratatouille, is he even a rat? He might be a mouse.
No, he's Remy the rat.
Well, because Ratatouille is like, Ratatouille has nothing to do with rats. It has to do with like a food.
I know, but did you see the movie?
No. But like you think like when you're told, well, his name's not Ratatouille, then like you start to have to question other things. It's like, what is his species? What is his special origin?
Well, if you had seen the show Tamar or whatever.
Okay. Alexis crying on the bed about Shannon was Ramonian.
Yeah. Well, anyone crying on a bed is Ramonian.
If you're crying on a bed, Ramonian.
Yeah. You walk into like a hospital, someone's deathbed.
They're crying, Ramonian.
That's sick.
Okay. Jen chatting during confessional while Tamara's on her way to meet Shannon.
That was wild.
It was like we unlocked something new there. Mm-hmm. Acknowledging like testimonials while filming.
I know. You would think like back in the day, I feel like they would refilm or something. But we're showing honesty. We're showing things as they happen.
We're being honest. Okay. Tamara coming in hot. As soon as Shannon sits down saying, I was really hoping that you would be the one to reach out to me. It's like, she is so cruel.
I know, but Tamara. I think that she is going to next year.
Burn out again.
No, I think she's going to go the other direction and be the sweetest bitch you've ever met.
Oh.
Maybe she'll find Jesus again.
Sammy
like,
Sweetheart again?
She's going to do something.
Rebaptized?
One thing about Tamara Barney is that she is watching the comments. I mean, like, she's got like a billion podcasts that are about talking about reality TV.
Okay, yeah.
So
She's a student.
She's got her finger on the pulse right now in August of 2024, where she didn't have it when she was filming.
Oh, true. Like, she wasn't pre-firing. She was probably like a casual watcher of the other shows.
And now she's watching everything.
Now she's like a critic.
Yeah.
And like Charlie XCX wore that t-shirt. They don't make statues of the critics. No, okay. Okay, so I didn't think about that, but I think you're right. Maybe she will. I think the proof will be in the pudding at the to be filmed reunion.
Yeah, I just think like she's watching too closely, and like right now the conversation online, or it was for like a week, that people are like, Tamara needs to be fired. But it's like, no.
Like, I can call her Tam Rat, but I say that with love. I don't say that with firing.
Exactly.
And like Shannon's like running to the bathroom crying. I didn't know like after the commercial break we'll like rejoin and hug and be sisters again.
I know.
Although I think present day like Shannon has bad things to say about Tamara.
I mean, because Tamara went very hard during the season and then it's still going hard.
The reunion will tell us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like Tamara like saying to the producer, like, oh, did you go to get a drink?
Like, nasty work. Nasty work, Tamara. It's like, she's not even there. You're being our little rat.
Yeah. Speaking of Tamara, next week we see Teddy Joe.
Oh, yes.
And I will say...
doing Trader's cosplay.
Yeah. Teddy Joe has enlisted. So Alexia is no longer doing the OC recaps with Teddy Joe. Now it's Erica Jane. And I did listen to the most recent recap.
Fox Horse 2.
Yeah.
And how's Erica doing?
It's fine. It's like, this is Erica's first time watching the show, of course. No, but it's interesting just to hear.
Does Erica even know anyone's names?
She knows names,
Okay.
which is good. But it's just like, I guess like Teddy was saying that people think that Alexia is no longer doing it because she was too critical of Tamra. And now I need to go back and listen to Alexia.
Alexia's version. Oh my God. Well, don't they have like two mamas in Miami?
It's called something that's not that, but yeah.
Okay.
And then Tamara just launched the podcast with Dan Giesling that's about gaming shows, like about like competition shows, and the Taylor Hale episode just dropped. I need to listen to that.
Oh, you've got a lot on your plate.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're in tune with the 2T's network, it's like you've got that, you've got the one that
The Jersey Jays.
the Jersey Jays, which they haven't broken up.
Oh, so they filmed another episode.
Yeah, they were back together. We've got Teddy does one with Emily. Do you know about that?
I've heard things.
We've got two Eds.
Wait, that's still happening.
Edwin and Eddie Judge.
Wait, I'm sorry. I remember months ago that being promoted. That is a podcast that airs
I think so.
weekly.
Yeah.
I mean, Two Jersey Jays, shockingly, like, is when they get around to it. It's not weekly.
And that's like about like wellness, right?
Life.
Yeah.
Two women.
You would say two Jersey Jays.
Two Jersey Jays. All right. Shall we get to our freak of the week and the one true queen?
Sure. Do you remember who they are?
I do.
Good.
Okay. Well, we famously do the freak of the week first.
Not famous in my brain.
And the freak of the week this week is Danny Girl. One, Danielle Oliveira, Summer House alumna.
Yeah. There was like something, I don't even follow Bethany on Instagram anymore, but something told me the other day to
Look to the
go
western
look
sky.
at her story.
Yeah.
And I was like clicking through because I mean, Bethany's been on a rampage. We called her our freak
Freak
last
last
week.
And she's kind of joint freak, but like we'll give it to Danielle this week.
She's been really taking the Hamptons
By storm.
with a fright.
Well, that storm is to come in like a fright.
And so she posted a Instagram story that you can see on our Twitter
And our
Instagram, yeah, of her and Danielle
A fan.
from Summer House.
I met this girl named Danielle.
I met this girl named Danielle, and basically Bethany was like, she told me you all would know who she is.
I would have fallen to the floor. And like the way Danielle's like smiling ear to ear, just be like in the presence of this mean woman.
It's like so crazy, like thinking about this in general, and then like thinking about it in the context of like the quote unquote reality reckoning that was supposed to happen. So like you would think that Bethany would like study up on like some other shows to know who needs to be reckoned with.
Let me recruit for my army, my reckoning army. Instead, she's making enemies, but maybe not making enemies. Danielle's like, we are two CEOs.
Yeah, if you look on her TikTok comments, like people are still foaming at the mouth positively for her.
For Bethany or Danielle?
Bethany.
Oh.
They like love her.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. I mean, like, she wouldn't be doing what she's doing unless like she had the Bethany army.
She's so real.
Yeah, you go, girl.
She's so real, eating her scooped out bagel with cottage cheese.
But I gotta wonder, like, I haven't looked. Did Danielle post about this?
I think, aside from the actual story, I think we are the only people who posted about it. But I mean, like, people did retweet it. Or
I think it should be like front page news, really. It's just like so humiliating the way she's talking about Danielle. She's like, oh, you're like on some show. Like, I'm supposed to know who you are. Okay, a one true queen. Anya Firestone from Real Girlfriends About Paris. We're the only ones still talking about it. Was affectionately called Mamanya on the show. For those of you who watched,
I forgot about that.
Well,
That show aired like 2 years ago at this point.
back when they were filming Dubai. So, Mamanya is now, she has revealed, going to be a Mamanya. And I gotta say, like, her carousel was very artistically done. I loved how she integrated art into her pregnancy announcement.
Oh.
You wouldn't know because you
No, I looked at her Instagram.
Oh, yeah. No, she just like was giving us an art lesson while announcing the impending birth of her child.
That's nice.
And I think I did talk about like a week or two ago on this podcast, like, oh my God, cameras could have been up for the Olympics. Mm-hmm. Yet another reason cameras could have been up right now. And instead we got Emily in Paris.
Yeah, Paris, such a beautiful city.
Mm-hmm. Well, Gay Petty, I think that's it for this week, baby.
Okay.
As usual, go to comethroughqueen.com for links to everything. We have a Patreon pre-show this week. We are talking about
Sabrina,
Short and Sweet,
Chapel.
We're talking about
The DNC.
The DNC. We're talking about a lot of stuff. So, wow, really sell it, Daniel. So go and check it out. And as usual, like, comment, subscribe, heart share, retweet.
Love us. Please retweet.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
I wanna see ya come through, queen.